All right, welcome back to Your Hometown with Brett and Sierra. It's Legal Lowdown in Sierra, as we know about. Boy, I tell you, with O'Hara and O'Hara, it is a lot to talk about this time around, huh?
No joke.
Right.
I tell you what, we're so glad to have Chris and Morgan back with us.
Hi, guys.
I tell you what, yes, absolutely. One of the big things in the news, obviously DACA. That is, everybody's talking about it. You're seeing it on every station. Chris, kind of give me the lowdown. If you're undocumented, what do you do, or should you be doing anything right now?
Well, I mean, it's a situation that's affected many, many people. And most of these kids that had this entered the United States when they were under 16. And what it did, DACA did, is it gave them work authorization. And the president's now come out and said he's not going to extend that out any further beyond certain time periods that allow people to renew. So it's put people in a position where they're going to lose their work permit.
Yeah. Well, and if you have questions, there's some uncertainty still out there. You're taking a lot of phone calls, Chris. That's as easy as really reaching out to you guys?
Yes, and we were happy to answer anybody's questions or concerns they may have about what's going on, about when they can renew, or about if they can extend their particular work permit out any further, and just about what's going on in the news and whether or not, there's going to be any, hopefully some other legislation that's passed to hopefully correct the issue that they have. And that's what we're all hopeful for, is that at some point they're going to pass legislation so these kids that were here and entered in before they were 16 can actually get some status here and not just work authorization. So hopefully they do end up getting helped out in the end.
Scary situation. And another scary situation actually is being served with papers. I know you specialize in family law, and maybe it's a shock to you, maybe it's not, or you decide to file for divorce yourself. What are some steps that you need to take if you're served or you want to?
Well, a lot of times in a divorce, I mean, you'll hear the term that there's a race to the courthouse. Right. And the reason that being is because whoever files first generally gets to set the temporary orders for what the orders will be when once it's filed and until the court can hear something or until final order's entered. So a lot of times people will have a race to the courthouse to file so that they can set temporary orders for property division, who's going to live in the house, if they have children, who's what the custody situation will be. There's some parameters that the court requires when you file that people have to follow, but that's why it's often a good idea to have an attorney help you out. A lot of times people can be very emotional when they go through a divorce and make decisions based off emotion. So a lot of times it's good to have an attorney involved that can help you through the process and let you know kind of what you're entitled to or what the law is regarding that. If you do get served with a divorce, a lot of people, sometimes it's out of the blue. Again, if the temporary orders are issued, then people can file a motion to have those modified. Sure. People can reach agreements to modify them, or you go in front of a judge and have a hearing regarding that. But if you get served, it can be scary, but again, it's a good idea to get an attorney so you know what your rights are and what you can do going forward.
And Morgan, you were talking earlier to Sierra and I about how the three of you and your family are, yes, three different attorneys and legal assistants, legal professionals, but you work together. I want you to expand a little bit more what you were talking off camera to us, because that's a benefit coming to your firm.
Right. We actually have 6 attorneys in our office, my dad, my brother, and myself being one of those attorneys. But we're a little bit different than some of the other firms out there because we all work together and we discuss our cases. So, for example, if I have a case, I'll often ask, my brother, my dad questions, and we get all of us in there in discussing cases and figuring out what to do. And that often can be a little bit different than some of the other firms out there.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, just to follow up, so we want to get a hold of you for any case. Let's say we have a legal issue that we're not sure about. How do we do that? What's the first procedure, and is it going to cost us to have that initial consultation? No,
we don't charge people for initial consultations. You can call us, just pick up the phone. It's 316-263-5601. You can come and visit us. Our address is 1223 East 1st Street. In downtown Wichita, or you can find us on the internet at o'haraand'ohara.com, or like us on Facebook or whatever other electronic way you want to get hold of us.
We'll find you. I like
Sierra,
that.
have you had a little legal trouble since we last visited with him?
I
Do you want to tell something to us?
I've got no tickets, so I have no issues yet, but if I do, I will definitely
You're in
be
good company,
yes,
aren't you, though?
I am.
Guys, thanks for the Legal Lowdown. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you again for having us.
You bet. We'll see you next time.